Peace, King and Queens, is Dr. Nicola Mitchell here on the Chris Gunther Show. Please enjoy and just continue to watch with us.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Chris Gunther Show. Thank y'all so much for watching. Remember to like and share this video. I would greatly appreciate it. All of your support this far has meant the world. Hard to believe that we are almost at 500 interviews total. So thank y'all for all the support. Let's keep this great momentum going. My special guest today, first of all, I love that hat and glasses that she got on, okay? If I could pull that off, I totally would, but I'm going to let her go ahead and talk a little bit about that as we get ready to chop it up with Dr. Mitchell. How you doing today?
I'm good, King. How are you doing?
I'm so good. First of all, thank you for agreeing to do this quick sit down. We definitely have been trying to, make this thing happen. So we appreciate you for your time.
Thank you for being patient, Lord. I'm not really this hard. It's not really this.
Yeah, hey, it's we live in such a crazy world now, and the essence of being kind, I think, has been lost. So I'm probably one of the nicest, most kindest journalists you'll ever meet. Because if this was
Yeah.
somebody else, they'd have been like, absolutely not.
Right. Yeah. No, you're 5 stars. Uber, all of them.
I,
Yep.
I sincerely appreciate that. And, let's go ahead and jump right into it. It's not like every day that somebody gets their life story presented to them and they get a chance to, be able to tell it from another person's perspective. Let's jump right into it. Your movie is getting ready to premiere on Lifetime. Take me back through that. Like, what made you want to get ready to tell your story?
Okay. So I did not just like decide to do this. Lifetime approached me in regards to telling my story. A beautiful producer, I love her. She's now like family. Her name is Barbara Fisher. She
Nice.
found me from a Reader's Digest article. And through that article, she felt compelled to reach out to me. And she kind of convinced me that this is what I should be doing. It took a lot. I speak about my story and my background all the time, especially at Girls Who Brunch. But to have a full movie, that's totally different. So, the beautiful thing is only 86 minutes, so it's not my whole entire life. But so I got comfortable with the version that we're telling, the part
Mhm.
of it. But no, they told me it was God. I guess God Center was like, okay, this is what you need to do, because people have always asked me to write a story. I'm a writer. I have 18 books, but I've never written a story about my life.
What made you want to go into writing?
Something I'm good at. When I was young, I used to write. I was your girl in school that would write that apology letter, note for the and like I made a lot of money off of writing back in the day, right? And really good poems. I got my first work published when I was in like ninth grade for poetry, and I just thought it was dope. I was able to release. I just told someone this morning that I may not be able to communicate well verbally, but I can tell you why I love you by writing it out. So
when
it's weird.
when did you realize that you had a gift in terms of writing? Because, not everybody can do that.
When I was young, I didn't really speak a lot. I was a shy girl as well, so I just used to journal all the time. I didn't know that's what it was back then. Journaling, it's a fade now, right? But back then, I was just writing and creating stories, right? Because when I moved to America, the neighborhood we moved to wasn't that great, and so I wrote these stories about what my life I wish it could be, right?
Hmm.
And it just kept going from there. And I would talk about like hurt because I was like bullied a lot because I was different. I had an accent and all that other stuff. So getting used to expressing, it was easier to express with words. So yeah, everybody used to say, "Oh my gosh, you write so well, you tell a story so well." But I never thought I would be doing this 40 years later, 30 years later.
You had just mentioned that when you came over here to America, where were you living beforehand?
I was born in Jamaica.
I love it. I've always wanted to go there. I've always wanted to go to Jamaica just because, like, okay, this is gonna sound funny, but I remember as a kid, I saw how Stella got her groove back, and
Okay.
I've always wanted to kind of go over there and be like Dexter, just enjoy the scenery. But if I was single, I'd have tried to find me someone that was a little older. But a brother's taking out the game, so I ain't got to worry about that. I just want to put that out there.
Not try to find somebody a little older. Okay, come on, King.
I'm
Okay.
Hey, look, I'm happily taking out the game. That's why brother got this on this. Just saying. But I think one of the
That was cute. That was cute.
I appreciate it. But I think one of the, coolest things about, your story is, you open up about a lot of the hurt and a lot of the pain that you felt as you were starting to, write things and you started to see them come to pass. Did you start to feel as if things were starting to re-traumatize you?
Not writing. No. I started my book career also in my 20s when I started. And no, I was writing about, like, say I was in a relationship and the hurt from that relationship, but then I would bring in my friends, people that I meet, because once you tell people you're a writer, they got all kind of stories to tell you, right? So I have a lot of content in my head, and I would write from that standpoint. It wasn't until I was 33 years old and went to therapy for the first time
Mm-hmm.
was when I realized that I've had so much pain and hurt still inside me. There's a lot of things I never even spoke about um, before then. My cousins and my nephews and nieces, because I'm the youngest from my mother. So I grew up with my nieces and nephews. We're like the same age. They knew a lot of the stuff that happened, but outside of that, I never said anything to anyone. So it wasn't until I had Girls Who Brunch, I started that program, I became vulnerable and opened up a little bit more every time. So I'll tell I was raped. Okay, you know what? I was raped 4 times. Every time I had another event, I told a little bit more, and it just started becoming very therapeutic to me as well. And then especially seeing how the women and the girls in the room respond to it, because by the time we would do our anonymous panel discussion, the questions, those are the questions that will come. And it's like, oh, wow, it's not just me that felt like this.
What made you want to start Girls Who Brunch?
I was in Charleston, South Carolina. My son, I was 6 months pregnant with my son, and he passed away. I lost him, and my mom passed away 2 weeks later. So I was in a really dark spot, and all my stuff, my greatness is birthed out of pain. So I
Mm-hmm.
kind of something to focus on. And when I was in Charleston, I met this group of girls. They came into the bookstore. I was at the Divas Read Retreat book event. I was one of the featured authors, and I was one of the youngest authors there at the time. And these girls, they never seen a Black author in a bookstore, let alone a female Black author. And then there were so many things that they did not know in that time when they came in that I was just shocked. The stuff that they were sharing was stuff that you would think from a third world country, like being from Jamaica, not girls that live in South Carolina. I don't. Some of them were from the Gullah Islands, and so I was like, okay, I got to come back and do something for these girls. I didn't know what I was doing, but that's where it was birthed from. I met those girls, and they changed my life.
You had mentioned that you had lost your son and then you lost your mom, and my sincere condolences, because that is not an easy thing to deal with. No matter how
Mm-hmm.
much time has passed, there are some things that you never get over, but you learn
Yeah.
how to live with. What advice would you give to a mother that has lost a child but has also lost their mother?
I would give them the advice that it's okay to grieve and it never goes away. My first child that I lost, her name is Diani, and she would be 21, and then Chance would be 8. And I still feel the same about both of them 21 years later. And it's kind of crazy though sometimes because I can talk about it. Like we can have this conversation right now, this dialogue, and I'm okay. But if someone brings up her name out the blue, um, I turn to waterworks. So it's okay to grieve, but we have to grieve. I think sometimes as women, especially Black women, we are held to a higher standard of, holding our hurt in. So I feel like it's okay to let people know that I'm sad right now. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to remember, but you also need to remember that you have to move on. Life still has to happen in this process.
Was it hard for you to move on during everything that you had been dealing with?
Yeah, in the big, like especially with Deani, I was so young, right? I was so young. I was like 21 years old, like 20 years old. So uh it was really hard. I thought that something was wrong with me, and especially when you've been traumatized and abused at a young age, and that's what they're telling you. They're putting it in your head to make you go along with the stuff that's happening. Um, I really thought something was wrong with me, that, God would take my baby. And it took a long time for me to even understand it. So there's nothing wrong with us. We have bad systems in place. We have systematic situations with us being Black women, because I was in pain, and I called the doctor's office on a Friday and I said something is going on, and they made my doctor's appointment on Monday. Oh, it's okay. And by Monday morning, I woke up before the appointment and the water bag was hanging outside of me. And so she lived to be 40 days old, but if they would have given me the care that I needed at that time, she probably would be here, right? So, excuse me, when you go through things, instead of letting that pain in those situations take over you, I think you should, advocate on that behalf to make sure it doesn't happen again. Let people know, share, spread the word, and talk about it to other people, because there's other mothers that's going through the same thing, and they may not know what to do or what to say. Because one of my girlfriends, she said that recently I had a surgery, and we had little issues, complications, but she was like, I wouldn't have ever known that to even ask, because if the doctor said this or his staff said this, I would have went along with it. How many of us have done that? And they've lost lives, lost babies, lost situations from there. So, just sharing the word and letting people know what to look for.
When you started Girls Who Brunch, it obviously started from a plane of it started from a place of pain, and it started from a place of really trying to figure out what do I do next. But then you see the growth, and then you see people that have been inspired by it. As somebody that is the head of that organization, how does it make you feel when you see the kind of success that it has had?
It just feels like work. But, to say we almost 40,000 girls worldwide, that's crazy to
Mm-hmm.
me. COVID was supposed to be a bad thing and shut the world down, but it tripled our numbers. We would do the tour virtually, every city, 6 hours, and we'll have 8,000 people online,
Wow.
4 girls at a time, and they're engaged, and it would, that's how we started venturing out to the international areas. And then now, once they liked it, they're like, okay, can you come on ground? Okay, and who would have thought? I just try. I never thought that we would be here, right? But I just try just to make everybody happy. So if me coming to Ohio is going to make some girls happy there, I'm going to come to Ohio. If we're going to St. Lucia, I'm going to come to St. Lucia. And I just want my motivation and my drive is not to see how much it's going to succeed or how many accolades we're going to get. It's just to see the happiness of these girls and to have them call me and tell me, Miss Nicola, thank you. I get calls from everywhere. It's crazy. And I don't turn anybody away. No girl. And so that is what the success story to me is, more than the people that we've helped. I mean, like all the awards and things that we've gotten to this point.
When Lifetime had approached you about doing your life story, and
Mm-hmm.
I gotta ask this, did you handpick Tatiana Ali to play you, or did they already have that kind of figured out?
So Barbara picked Tatiana, and I was confused at first because I was like, Tatiana Ali, because I'm still seeing her as Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
But then once we spoke on the phone that first day, we on Zoom, we were on Zoom for a long time, for hours. And I was like, wait, she looks like me. Okay, wait a minute. Her background is like me. We have the same Caribbean backgrounds with our parents.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just everything was the same. Her mannerism was like mine. So it was like, okay, I see why Barbara did this. But it threw me off at first. I was like, okay, because she's so soft, but um, I guess that's how I come across too. Like watching her was allowing me to learn more about me. I'm like, I guess I am soft spoken. I am this, I am that. But while you're living, you don't see that. You think you're a strong person, and she's very strong. But the impression of her that I've had was this soft, sweet person. But she is me. She's both sides. And it's crazy watching her. I love her.
I can only imagine what it was like because let's just be real. We all watched The Fresh Prince growing up. And I told her this when, I was on the Lifetime Zoom call that I had the biggest crush on Tatiana Ali because of Ashley Banks. And I will 100% be 10 tones down by that to the day I die. But the reason why I bring that up, though, is because we all grew up watching her. But to see a legend portray you, like that
Yeah.
has to make you feel some kind of way.
It does because she's not just even a legend in her acting right. She's a legend in her right as a Black woman, her wanting to share my voice, her wanting to be very true to my voice, have integrity to who I am. She's called me on set and was like, okay, I don't like the way this is reading. What would you say? Because I don't think this is what you would say,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And to have that, just somebody to care about you, um, it made me comfortable. I was on set for a couple days shooting, and I really only cared about what the brunch looked like. I was like, if my kids watch this, I need them to feel like this is the brunch, right? But she left me, and the whole production team left me so comfortable. And the director, we're family. And so it was dope watching her and just see her embody me. I'm like, okay, yeah, because there's one scene when I just seen it, and I was like, oh my God, it looked like me. I'm like, okay, that looked really like me and how I felt. So it's
Did
dope.
you did you ever have any moments on set when all of your emotions just came out at once?
Yes, I cried the whole time. Um, I cried by myself. And then it was beautiful that everybody on set, Black, white, man, female, came to me, took me to the side at some point to tell me how my story affected them, how meeting me has affected them, why they even wanted to go even further to make it a special moment be after they met me. Um, that was beautiful. So yeah, I cried the whole time. It was crazy. From the kids, I even there's a scene where I'm being bullied. Gabe, he came up to me and he was like, on behalf of all the bullies in the world, I'm so sorry. And I was like, oh, like everybody. And he's a kid, everybody cried with me at some point.
That had to make you sit back and say, wow, like everything that I've been through, and now to see it come to full circle, not only to highlight the bad, but to showcase the good. I know that had to feel amazing. What do you want people to take away from your story along with this film?
Well, pretty much, I just want people to see the love story of it. A lot of times people think love story has to be between a man and a woman. There's love story between me and my children that is so indescribable, right? They're my kids, but they're my best friends. The love story between me and my sister, because it's Lifetime. We can put my entire family in there. So my one sister represented all of them. Um, and then the love story between me and the girls from Girls Who Brunch and the people around it. When we watched it at Black Girls Rock last week, I had a couple of my committee chairs there from that run the different cities and some girls that from my East Coast, and they all felt like, okay, this is real. So if they gave their stamp of approval, then I'm happy with the ending product. But it was so beautiful, and just watching it, I was like, wow. Like I kept referring to Nicola as her, and taking it away from me. And I was like, damn, that's me. Like, wait a minute. I'm a survivor. And sometimes you just need to see it to understand. So I'm thankful. I'm forever indebted and grateful of this opportunity because I've seen other people's life stories not be what they wanted. And so to see the beauty in mine that they portrayed, it's amazing.
I'm excited that, it's getting ready to come out and people can actually see it because, without going into all of the details, there were a few Lifetime movies that were trying to, tell about somebody's, story that didn't really, in my opinion, they didn't do a good job of. I'm just going to be honest with you. But to see that you were somebody that was there, that was able to really kind of help them out in a sense, I know they had to feel special. What advice would you give to a young woman or even a young man that has a very similar background to you that is trying to overcome it?
To overcome, just stand, like you just said, stand 10 toes down on what you believe, right? If this is what you believe, stand on it. Um, and it's okay. Just do the work. Like whatever you want to do, if you want to be a writer, if you want to be a songwriter, if you want to be an actor, actress, just do it. If you keep being true to your story, your craft, then it's going to come back to you. The universe is going to just celebrate you. I was just talking to the PR of Lifetime the other day. We're on a Zoom call, and I was like, dang, like in the last couple of months from shooting, I've gotten I've gotten a doctorate, I've gotten a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award, I've gotten all these things, right? I got a girl, Nicola Day. Next week is Nicola Mitchell Day in Houston, right?
I love it.
Dang, like, and I didn't submit for anything. I haven't went after anything. All these things are coming to you, to me. So that's what I want whoever is watching this to look at me as a real life testimony. Because we go to these seminars and people tell you, oh, you gotta do this and it's gonna come. No, I am showing you that all I do is keep my head down and work. And all this have came. And it's still coming. We don't know what else is gonna happen. And so that's what I would say. Just work. Just believe in yourself. I don't care who's telling you what you're doing is crazy or stupid or you're going broke and but you got that thing in your gut that's telling you to keep going. No, just keep going. There's something that's going to be on the other side of the rainbow that's going to show you that what you did was not in vain.
Every storm has an expiration date.
Amen. That's a shirt.
Well, if y'all decide to, put it on a shirt, just holler at your boy one time, see what we can come up with.
I got
Well, definitely coming to the end now. One of the last few questions I always ask is this. I hope that you have enjoyed your time here on the Chris Gunther Show. If you could see me interview somebody, who would it be? And if you have any contact, do you think you could help a young brother out?
Oh, I got a whole bunch of people I can have you interview. We can talk about that later. I got you.
Ain't gotta tell me twice. Yeah, well, y'all ain't gonna figure out who it is until I drop it. But if anybody wanted to support Girls Who Brunch or support you, how can they do that?
You can visit. Right now is our fundraising time. It's our annual weekend of giving that's coming up Memorial Day weekend. The goal is to raise the minimum $100,000 to support the tour. We have a 23 city tour, $5,000 the minimum to make a tour run. Right now we have 23 cities, only 7 are fully funded. So we need you, right? If anybody wants to donate financially, you can go to girlswhobrunchtour.com and click on support and you can do there. Or we need you for speakers. We need in kind. We need anything. We need day of. We need everything. So you can sign up at Girls Who Brunch Tour for day of help for volunteers to become a speaker. You can sign up there. Just check out girlswhobrunchtour.com. And also you can follow me. I am Nicola, NICOLA.com. I have a couple of book tours. I might not be in Jamaica in June for the Beauty in the Book retreat. I'm going to Canada for Girls Who Brunch. We're going to St. Lucia in October for Girls Who Brunch Tour. So Just follow both of us, those networks, and you can just see and connect with us and just support.
Nothing else needs to be asked. Dr. Mitchell, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, King.
Be sure you guys like and share this video. Dr. Mitchell on the Chris Gunther Show. Cue my theme song. I'll see y'all next time.